Hey everyone, it's Miss Malia, Food Corps Service Member at CASS. I'm here to share an update about how our maple sugaring operation is going. Third graders tap trees during garden class, and now that we're not in school, me and Mr. Widmer have been collecting the sap.
Good morning, everyone. Guess where I am? You can probably tell if you look in the background, you can probably tell where I am. But I'm leaving school to go collect some sap. I've got my bucket here and we're gonna head outside, out on the trails. Okay, here we are. We're coming out to the maples that Miss Malia tapped along with a bunch of students. And the sap buckets, I checked them yesterday, they're doing pretty well. I think Chamberlain, you were one of the people who tapped this tree, and I know there's some other people involved, but this is Miss Brown's class, is that right? Miss Brown's class? All right, let's see what we got here. Take out the tube. And it is full. It is absolutely full. And that container is a half gallon, so we've got a half gallon of sap. Question, how many ounces is in a half gallon? Got another question for you. How many half gallons make a whole gallon? Okay, and then we're gonna come over to this one here. This one, it looks like that's about a third full. Maybe even less. What do you think? Into the bucket it goes.
Thanks for collecting sap, Mr. Widmer. Now it's time to see how much sugar is in the sap. What percent sugar is the sap? Now a visit from an old friend.
Hi guys, this is Mr. Thurston, friend of Malia's that helped you guys tap last year. Maybe you remember me. How are you guys doing? I'm out in my own sugar bush here, and I just took some sap from this tree and put it in the refractometer, which measures percent sugar of the tree. The final reading was 2.5% sugar.
Thanks for the message, John. So after seeing that refractometer tool, we know that sap is only about 2.5% sugar. Syrup, when it's finished, is around 68% sugar. Sap is almost all water. So how are we going to go from something that's almost all water to something as sticky and sweet as syrup? With a little help from evaporation. Evaporation happens when little particles of water go up into the air as vapor. This process happens the fastest when a liquid is very hot. You've probably seen that vapor going up into the air if you've ever seen steam. Do you think you've ever seen steam before? I've seen steam coming off a hot cup of tea. Pretty soon here, you'll see steam coming off the maple sap as we boil it. Here's a message from Mr. Widmer about how he boils sap at his house.
This is where I store all my sap. I've got these buckets, these plastic buckets that I put it in, and this is my boiler right here. And my boiler is, and that's my dog, Woodrow. He helps me. This is where I build my fire, and that heat boils the sap, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's in operation. And when the sap boils, the water leaves, and what's left is the sugary residue, which once we get down to a certain point we call syrup. Okay, next there's the what we call the sap pan, and it's made right in Vermont. It's got a little spigot where I can open this up, and when it's all done and the syrup comes out, it's not quite finished. I usually have to finish it inside. I pour it into a pot and put it on my wood stove for the last little bit. Okay, what you're looking at now is you're looking down into the inside of the 55-gallon oil drum stove, and that's the wood. I'm going to light it momentarily, and I hope that that will start and I won't have to keep fiddling with it. And as you can see, the fire did take hold. It's going pretty well right now. So the next thing I do is I put the sap pan in that big open hole there, and then I fill it with sap. I've just poured the sap in. It's about 4 gallons right now. Here's where we're headed. This is a half-gallon canning jar full of my syrup, and right now I have about 8 of these, and I hope to get another 4 filled. So if I have 8 half-gallon containers right now, how much do I have? And how much will I have if I get 4 more of them?
Thank you, Mr. Widmer, for showing us your maple syrup boiling system. Now let's head over to my house and I'll show you how I did it. In order to boil the sap, I needed to build an outdoor stove because I have so many gallons of sap to boil. I built it out of cinder blocks and stones and whatever else I could find. I needed to make a space to build a fire so I could get the sap hot enough for extra water to evaporate off. This picture shows the space where I'll build the fire. The 2 cinder blocks stacked on top are the chimney. They're hollow, so they'll carry smoke up and out of the firebox. When we were finished building the stove, we built a fire inside and lit it. Then we put a metal pan over the fire. Do you see the bubbling? That means it started to boil. Also, can you spot the steam?
You can see the steam is the white, cloudy stuff coming right off of the evaporation pan. Whoa! But the smoke is coming out of the little chimney.
The last step is to strain the hot finished syrup through a filter. The filter is going to catch any bits of bark that may have gotten into the sap. I can't wait to try some syrup. What should I make with it? Maple roasted carrots? Granola? Pancakes? Thanks for joining me, Mr. Widmer, and Jon for some maple sap boiling adventures today. And I hope you had fun with the fractions as well. As a fun next step, I challenge you all to try and make your own model evaporator pan and firebox. You could make it out of cardboard boxes, plastic containers, paper, Legos, blocks, sticks, or rocks. Just have fun. You won't actually be boiling syrup in it, so you can make it any size and make it from any material. That's all for now. Bye!